Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Cine Geeks Sit and Talk. I'm Roy,
And Angela.
Smash!
and for this episode, we are going to be talking about a couple of releases that are already out now in cinemas
Yes,
na very perfect na pang-celebrate ng Women's
Women's
Month.
Month. Yes, March.
This March, yes. But before we continue, we want to invite everyone to like and follow and subscribe to our channel or to our Spotify page. And if you enjoy our discussions, share it with your friends and your fellow movie fans because one, it helps the channel grow, and two, we want more and more people, more and more Cine Geeks to join
The conversation.
our conversation.
Yes.
Yes. So, huwag na natin patagalin pa. Okay? Let's talk about the first movie for this episode, and that's The Bride. The Mother Effing Bride.
The Mother Effing Bride.
The Mother Effing Bride, starring
Jessie Buckley.
and
Christian Bale.
yes. Okay. So, we all had the privilege of being able to see this during the advanced screening last March 3.
2 days
Yes.
ago.
2 days ago. So we're recording this on Thursday, March 5. And sige, just i-preface lang natin, para siyang loose na adaptation nung kwento nung Bride of Frankenstein. Ang parang research ko hindi siya talaga straight up na parang yung The Bride of Frankenstein.
So parang the same vein as yung Wuthering Heights with quotation marks.
Quotation marks. Oo. Yun, sige.
Go.
No, you were saying something.
Anong sa quotation
Ay,
mark?
quotation marks sa Wuthering. Ay, di mo ba alam yun?
Yun, I mean, alam ko. Pero
Ah,
like yung The Bride, loosely din siya?
Oo, kasi
From the
alam
ano?
ko, hindi siya,
Adaptation.
oo.
Okay.
I mean, by the way, this episode is gonna be full spoilers.
okay, yeah.
So, our advice to you is if hindi pa napapanood yung any of the films here, wag muna yung tapusin. Bumalik na lang kayo kapag napanood yun na yung mga sine. So, yun na, right off the bat, let's talk about yung creative choice na pinili ni writer-director Maggie Gyllenhaal to basically make Mary Shelley a character in the film. So, Jessie actually plays dual roles here, both as the bride and as Mary. Ida, you see the bride. Tsaka si Mary.
Triple role pala yun.
Triple role.
Oo.
Ida, the bride, and Mary Shelley. Sige, start na kay Ange. Yeah.
Actually, pwede mo pa nga sabihin 4 kasi di ba may Penelope pa siya.
Ayaw nga, no? Pala, may pagka-Penelope pa yung kanyang bride 1.0. Sige, what did you think of the bride?
Ako, I really had no expectations. Although, meron lang akong slight knowledge about The Bride of Frankenstein being, a classic. Parang Frankenstein by Mary Shelley and yung Wuthering Heights nga na it's been told a million times already na to the point na alam mo na where the story is going. But, yun nga, this movie still managed to surprise me in surprising ways. Kasi talagang ibang-iba yung take ni Maggie Gyllenhaal dun sa story. Although yes, it's a gothic story through and through. I mean, it's about a zombified monster. So how gothic can you get, 'di ba?
That's true. That's
Pero
true.
kasi yung parang may pagka avant-garde yung kanyang approach sa kanyang directing and also I don't know, very out of the box. It felt really something that's a little bit crazy. Pun intended. Pero in the most fascinating way, you can't look away, ganon.
Yun siya no? Ano siya yung, ang ganda nung sinabi ni Ange na it's a very fascinating experiment. Let's use that term for now. Pero would you say na the experiment, Smash, was it a successful one or was it a misfire?
Okay. Ang description ko kasi sa The Bride, it's a crazy mess and it's a messy craze.
So parang
Yun
siyang
siya.
don't love your job, job your love.
Something like that. Pero siya ganun. Pero admittedly it started strong. Yun nga nabanggit ko na sa diba, off-cam na ito yung perfect description of a high-octane start of a film. Like, very ano talaga siya, high-powered, pero naubusan siya ng gasolina.
True.
Especially sa
Oo.
gitna na parang, wait, I felt the balls of Maggie Gyllenhaal as a director kasi nga, yun nga, sabi mo nga, very avant-garde yung approach niya in terms of directing. Hindi lang siya masyadong na-translate sa akin sa screen. Kasi ako, maganda yung writing niya. Ang ganda ng message niya eh.
Okay.
Diba? For like agency of women, diba? Yung ganyan. Tapos yung topic of consent.
Yes.
Ganyan,
very,
diba?
very important.
Ganyan.
Yes.
Tapos yung idea din of dealing with people marginalized by society. Diba? Sa case ni Christian Bale,
Yes.
dun sa character niya. So in that regard, yung screenplay niya was as in talaga French kiss. Kaya lang yung direction niya, the way it was presented, yes, it started strong, pero na-lost somewhere along the way. And yun yung gusto ko
Naubusan siya.
sanang ma-enlighten mo. Paano siya na-lost along the way?
Okay, alam mo sa
Go.
akin, since we're talking about this full spoilers, and our assumption is you've seen the film if you're watching this review this at this point. Ano siya parang yung sinabi mo na ano siya, grabbing right out of the gate. It just starts with a bang.
Yeah.
I mean, quite literally, almost.
Literally, oo.
Na ang unang pumapasok sa isip ko, watching it, para siyang merong energy ng Moulin Rouge. Yung talagang parang, yung alam mo yung simula ni Moulin Rouge na yung kung saan naglililipat yung camera angle, ganun. Or even yung start ng Elvis. Yung parang crazy dream ni Colonel Parker na pati yung mga Star Trek na wala na sa era niya, napapanaginipan. Yung ganun.
Parang siya nga siyang fever dream. May ganong feeling,
Oo,
no?
yung ganun. Na parang siyang, ang iniisip ko tuloy, parang, oh my God, is Maggie Gyllenhaal going to attempt a Baz Luhrmann? Na talagang she's going to really swing for the fences. Kahit kahit mag-strike three siya, talagang swing. And I mean, for the most part, she does. Kasi hanggang may point doon na parang sobrang grabe yung creative choice after creative choice after creative choice. Talagang, I found myself minsan na mga nakanganga na nga ako. Until dun sa point na parang nagkaroon sila ng dance number. Si Frank,
Yung sa party ba yan?
sa party.
Oo.
Si Frank, played by Christian Bale, of course, si Frankenstein.
Oo.
Tapos si Bride, si Penelope, at that point, na si Jessie Buckley, nung na-meet na nila si Jake Gyllenhaal. Ano yung Ronnie something? Basta yung
Hollywood actor. Parang Fred Astaire type
Yun. Oo,
character.
kasi yung sinayaw pa nila doon, put it on the Ritz.
At saka Ginger Rogers there's a reference to
May
Ginger
reference
Rogers.
lagi, oo. I mean, as a fan of old Hollywood,
Yeah.
nakakakiliti
Ako doon.
ganun doon.
I love that detail, that
Oo.
reference.
Pero yung pagdating doon sa punto na parang pagkatapos ng craziness, ng insanity, nung dance number na yun, kasi kita mo na parang what I hope Maggie was trying to go for in that specific dance number is yung main niya nilang dalawa parang naihahawa
na.
nila, napapableed out nila to the others.
Yung
Like,
bigla na
yung-
lang sumasayaw din pati yung mga tao sa
Nahihibang yung mga
paligid.
nasa paligid nila. So parang, oh my God. So talagang, are we really going to go like what you said?
It's a
balls
shared
out?
insanity, ganon.
Oo, parang polyado. Sinabi mo pa nga,
Actually,
di ba,
yun,
na
oo.
parang yung ito is parang polyado.
This is what Joker Foliado is supposed to be.
Yun.
Oo. Binanggit din niya ni Prince, by the way, shout out.
Hi, Prince. Hi,
aka
Awi.
Frankenstein.
Fantastic cosplay, guys, by the
Oo.
way. Pero yun, pagdating doon sa punto na yun, after that, it just, hindi nga lang lost steam. Kasi kung lost steam siya, pwede pa siyang parang pumupugak pa. Talagang nag-screech. It went to a screeching halt.
Ayan, I'm curious about that. Ikaw, since ikaw talaga yung nagsabing the movie lost you towards the middle. Why? What is it about the middle part that parang nag-lose ka ng interest or parang naubusan siya ng gas?
Okay. Kasi parang because of the change of, kasi nga sabi nyo, 4 personalities si Jessie Buckley dito, diba? Feeling ko lang because the story is like revolving around her character or personalities. Dahil medyo subdued yung iba niyang characters, naging din yung story. Pero feeling ko, dapat in terms of like the story, naging true to the core ng story na yun, hindi ko naman sinasabi na all throughout the film, dapat high octane siya. Pero, agree ako dun sa sinabi mo dun sa dance scene. Pero ako, I feel like nag-lose siya ng steam more on dun sa film. Yung drive-in theater.
Yung ano na, yung
Towards the
huhulihin
end
na
na
towards
to.
the end.
Oo,
Yung
yun
huhulihin
yung
na
medyo
siya dapat
parang,
ni Penelope Cruz.
no, before nun. Before nung eksena na yun.
Yung bang nagpa-proclaim sila ng love for each other ba pa?
Yun.
Oo,
Parang,
okay.
yeah, yun.
Yung scene kay Peter Sarsgaard?
Yun. Parang, yun nga eh, kasi parang, di ba yung sabi mo, party, doon nila na-meet si Jake Gyllenhaal, tapos si Peter Sarsgaard, di ba? I felt that yung characters kasi ni Jake tsaka ni Peter doon were not as well written doon compared dun sa characters ni Christian Bale tsaka ni Jessie Buckley.
They
Kaya,
really felt like plot devices.
yeah.
Diba?
Oo.
At saka ito, masabi
Kaya,
ko lang
bumaba talaga.
yes, I definitely agree. At masabi ko lang talaga na Peter Sarsgaard is one of my favorite actors in Hollywood.
No relation to the
Skarsgård
Skarsgård family.
Okay, no. May Sarsgaard, talaga dito, may Sarsgaard si Peter.
Wala siyang K.
As may Skarsgård, yung mga Swedes, no?
Swedish.
Swedes, Swedes. Yan. Pero, for some freaking reason, he doesn't work in this film at all. Talagang,
Oh, alam mo yung, I mean, yes, I completely agree. Alam mo yung feeling na parang lahat sila nakakape, tapos siya, naka-melatonin.
alam mo yung hindi, ito pa nakakatawa napaka high energy nga ni Penelope Cruz kasi sila yung magkasama. Pero siya napaka parang, yeah, we're so chill, we're gonna get parang akong, uy, gising.
Parang siyang nasa Selinsong na movie eh. Samantalang sila nasa Baslerman sila.
Bakit
ganun.
si John Magaro dito naman siya, nakaalis siya dun sa Selinsong na scene eh.
Tapos diba, natural kasing medyo parang may antok vibe kasi yung mata talaga ni
May
Peter
mukha- may ganun talaga siya,
Sarsgaard.
talaga,
Kaya,
oo.
tas ganun pa yung writing ng character niya. So, mas lalo.
Pero hindi lang sa writing, swear, ito, hindi lang sa writing. Meron siya kasing, may scene dito na nag-emote siya. Na parang dahil ang implication is, meron silang hinuhuli kasing mobster. Played by the guy, si Zlato Burik.
Yung nasa Triangle of Sadness. Tsaka si,
Sa Wonder Man. Si Von Kovac. Sa Wonder Man. Yun. Ngayon, ang implication is, si Penelope / Ida / Bride, pinasok ni Peter Skarsgård, si Detective Jake Wiles, na parang maging mole niya.
Parang CI.
Parang CI, para mahuli si Vito Lupino, yung basta yung crime boss. Tapos, dahil alam niya na namatay na nga, tapos yung ganun, alam niya na ganun yung parang nangyari sa kanya, may guilt siya. So parang that could have been a very potent storyline, especially when it relates to parang how society treats women, na parang, yeah, that could have been a perfect opportunity for the writer to express na parang what she wants, na yung parang form of remorse or guilt na maramdaman ng society whenever they put women in danger in situations like that. Pero ang lumalabas dahil sa acting ni Sarsgaard dito, parang siyang, hindi na nga siya makaiyak. Parang pa siyang, umiiyak pa siya na parang yung dula-dulaan na iyak. Parang,
Yung walang luha.
walang duha. So tuloy, parang the sentiments that he was saying falls flat. And also feels insincere. So parang it's sad. Tama ka dun eh. Maganda sana yung script eh. Kaso nagkakulang sa direction. Diba?
Yan, yung kay Sarsgaard. At saka yung kay John Magaro din, parang napaka one-dimensional. And also, yung character ni Jake Gyllenhaal, doon ako pinaka nang hinayang kasi syempre, the brother of the director. So parang I was expecting
Diba?
something at least pivotal for a Gyllenhaal to be played by a Gyllenhaal, 'di ba? Kaya lang parang kumbaga sa Joker 1, parang siya yung character ni Robert De Niro eh.
Dapat
Siya yung hero ni Frank, 'di ba? As Robert De Niro was the hero of
Arthur Fleck.
Joaquin Phoenix's character. So parang nasaan 'yon? Kasi 'di ba, in-establish naman na idol niya si Jake Gyllenhaal, pinapanood niya lahat ng movies. And by the way, I love the parang tribute to old Hollywood films and cinema going.
Yun nga, I love that. Yung mga mini short films na nire-reenact yung mga Fred Astaire-ish na mga sine. Nakakakiliti yun talaga.
Tsaka yung love din ni Frank sa mga movies, parang we can relate.
Yes, Frank.
Diba?
May implication pa dito na parang later on, di ba? Parang siya, na baril. Ang unang pinagdalahan ni Bright sa kanya, hindi sa ospital, Punta tayo sinihan.
Cinephile pala si Frankenstein, guys.
That's true.
Rafael. Yun. So, yeah, I feel flat din dun sa, parang, di ba, dapat turning point yun eh. Kasi importanteng plot device si Jake Gyllenhaal eh, di ba? I mean, wala naman akong kaso na naging plot device lang siya. Pero if you're using a person or a character as a plot device, make it, cathartic. Kasi idol nga yun eh. Like, di ba, like, for the longest time, yung character ni Christian Bale, nakita niya to, ito yung ini-emulate niya, ito yung...
Maging si Jake Gyllenhaal, di ba?
By the way,
Parang-
ang pangalan niya
oh,
si
yun na yun.
Ronnie Reed pala.
Nung na-meet niya dun sa party.
Oo.
Diba,
Alam mo,
parang, napaka, alam mo yun, sobrang,
alam mo,
Di ba asshole siya doon? Si
Yun
Jake
ang- yun
Gyllenhaal.
ang
Pero biten. Parang, Ito
Yun-
mo. Kung asshole ka, ito
Yun
mo.
ang yun ang feeling ko. Yun na nga yung parang cardinal sin ng sine. Kapag alam mong yun yung gusto niyang iparating, pero ang ending sa audience, feeling lang nila. So yun nga eh, feeling
Game
ko
of
na gusto
short.
niya maging parang yung asshole. Like yung character niya no, tama ka, ni De Niro sa Joker, na yung si Mori,
Yung host,
yung host, na parang idol na idol niya. Gusto niya talaga maging parang
and then
si
na-shatter
and then
yung,
illusion niya.
yung rose
Oo.
glasses.
Which is ironic pa nga kasi, I mean, napapanood natin yung mga red carpet na mga clip interviews. For some reason, tinanong si Christian Bale, importante pala to sa scene na parang, what is your advice to people who want to meet you? So parang don't meet your heroes. Pero, again, cool lang. Dapat, kasi dun sa scene na parang pinakitang asshole si Ronnie Reed sa kanya, hindi, parang pity lang, pathetic lang, parang siyang ganun lang siya. Hindi.
Parang indifferent nga lang
Yun-
siya eh.
yun
He
pa,
didn't
oo.
even care.
Diba?
So parang, eto lang, funny lang ha. Indulge me. Kasi parang
Sige.
natatawa lang ako na si Batman, siya na ngayon yung nasa role ni Joker. Si Christian Bale.
Oo nga, tama. Oo, tama. Oo.
Ayun lang.
Ay,
Continue.
nako. Pero eto, sige. For all of the things naman that we picknit about the film, meron din naman tong nagawang maganda in spades. Actually, it's funny because looking at the critical consensus or response for this film, it's straight down the middle. Ang kanyang Rotten Tomatoes is currently sitting at around 50%. So talagang ano siya, polarizing siya.
Yes, polarizing talaga.
Masasabi ko naman din, please let me know if you agree or disagree, na, well, one, the cinematography is fantastic.
Yes,
The-
sobrang creative. I loved how it looked on the screen, especially in IMAX.
Masabi
Sobrang
ko lang.
ganda din nung wardrobe, nung costume design, makeup, styling.
Sorry, masabi
I
ko
love
lang
it.
Kanina pa natin sinasabi na parang this feels like what Joker Folie à Deux should be. Yung cinematographer nitong The Bride is Lawrence Sher, aka the cinematographer of Joker.
Joker.
1 or 2?
Okay.
I mean, they really dropped the ball on Folie à
Actually,
Deux.
Folie à Deux din. Oo.
Pero di ba, ito Folie à Deux enjoyer.
Ay,
Diba?
boo.
Folie à Deux defender ako eh. Kasi,
What did The Bride do Folie à Deux better than Folie à Deux?
yes naman. Kasi, to be fair naman dito sa The Bride, yun nga let's give credit in terms of pagiging ballsy nitong The Bride. Kasi, yun yung weakness ng Folie à Deux for me. Kasi
Yes,
it attempted to be ballsy din, pero like super flat yun. Although, I will defend it in terms of the musicals and everything. And, yun nga, a lot of people hating on Joker Folie à Deux is actually the point of the film. Naging
Wow.
successful siya.
Talagang ano pala
In that,
tayo. So, we're doing our part. I'm doing my part. I'm doing my part.
Pero yung The Bride kasi, in terms of execution lang nung at least nung pagiging ballsy niya, kahit papano, sa first half, na-achieve niya yun.
Dito.
Yun,
Oo.
Yun.
Talaga.
It lost me dun sa sobrang convoluted plotline nung crime.
Yun
Yung
siya.
kapag ka lumalabas na si Peter Sarsgaard at saka si Penelope Cruz, parang sobra kasing patchy nung pagkakatahi-tahi nung scenes and nung mga plot points about ano bang connection nung sa mob. Parang,
Ay.
'di ba? Parang okay, gets namin na ni-reveal na lang nila lahat, parang in-exposition dump na lang nila doon sa gitna na okay, si Aisha ganyan.
Ito may isa pa. Ako naman medyo naguluhan ako dun sa ano yung importance ni Mary Shelley Doon
Hindi.
sa kwento.
That still remains a question to me. Bakit?
Okay.
And then, ano yung resolution
Yun.
nung pagsapi niya?
Parang
Parang
wala eh.
inano niya pa no? Pinoses niya.
Ay nako,
Yeah.
true.
Ikaw, may
Yun.
theory ka.
May theory ka ba?
Hindi, actually, feeling ko, ang relevance lang naman ni Mary Shelley doon is just to point out how can trauma, or kasi 'di ba originally talagang patay naman talaga yung character ni Jessie Buckley, 'di ba? Pero parang ano siya, allude siya dun sa idea that anyone, or particularly in this case, women, who go through traumatic experiences, tend to have these split personalities.
Nagko-fracture yung kanilang persona.
Yes.
Yung,
Ay.
gets ko yon parang dissociative personality disorder. Pero ang question, I get that if that's the idea
Intention,
or the intention is to parang portray it or show it as parang the fracturing of the mind of somebody traumatized by a lot of things. Pero yung question ko is yung meta element na is this like parang stranger than fiction na si Mary Shelley pumapasok siya parang sa simulation nung novel niya. Kasi si Frankenstein nandun eh. Di ba siya yung nagsulat ng Frankenstein?
Yun.
Tapos,
Oo nga.
is this a new novel that she's parang, is this a
Trying.
world inside Mary Shelley's mind? Tapos kinakausap niya yung isa sa mga characters doon sa world na kinreate niya? What's happening? Yun yung question ko eh. And then, hindi siya nasagot sa akin in the end.
Pero ito, sige, yung sinabi ni Smash kanina na parang this feels like, yun nga, na parang a fractured psyche. Parang talking to itself.
Yes.
Do you think na parang yun yung ano niya? Yun yung parang excuse niya for that? Was it a valid parang execution of the idea?
I mean, the fact that we are theorizing about it, I think it just, wants us to talk about it, to have a conversation about what it can possibly be.
Okay.
Pero ako, as in naghahanap ako ng sagot sa tanong, hindi
Kung bakit
na-satisfy yun.
mahalaga yung scene na to.
Yeah, walang sagot.
Pero which also solidifies our like general take na direction talaga yung issue ng film na to.
Yes, talaga.
Oo, kasi there might have been an answer there, pero because of their accent, I don't know if it's just me,
Yun na.
pero
Let's talk about the accent.
medyo nahirapan talaga akong maarok. Alam mo, it reminded me of One Love. As much as I love Jessie Buckley and I love her to death, lalo na sa Hamnet, pero girl, lalo na yung kapag nagtuturets siya ng nag-word association siya, parang
Yung gibberish niya na sinasabi mo.
I mean, I know it's meant to be funny, yung mga word association things niya, ng mga sinasabi niya, pero hindi ko siya masundan, hindi ko na maintindihan, and then there's parang important lines there, mixed in there, na hindi ko na na-catch. So parang, wait lang. Tapos zombie talk din si Christian Bale. So parang, hala, hindi ko na sila maintindihan. Ako lang, bingi lang ba ako?
Ito,
Nasa IMAX naman ako.
Yun na nga, IMAX.
Oo.
Na-question ko pa tuloy yung sarili ko.
Oo, yun na nga, IMAX na nga to, pero di ba?
Nakastay pa tayo ni IMAX eh. Pero, sige. I mean, bumalik naman tayo sa, sa positives of this film. Kasi there are. It may sound like we're hating on it, but we're not. Okay, kasi this is just a very provocative film. One of the most provocative films we've seen recently. Pero, going over naman to one of the shining positives of this film, is the acting.
Acting department,
Sabi mo
of
na, yun
course.
na, Jessie. Si Maring Jessie.
Maring
Si
Jessie.
Paring Christian.
Oo.
Talagang Academy Award nominee, Academy Award winner. Pinagsama mo yun doon. Oh my God, it's magic talaga.
Oo.
Oo.
Grabe.
Sino sa dalawa yung mas favorite nyo yung performance? Ikaw, Smash?
Ako, biglang, nung una talaga si Jessie Buckley in terms of yung acting range.
Oo.
Pero yung overall meta nung film, Christian Bale.
No?
Oo. Mas siya yung, kumbaga, hindi man sobrang, kumbaga, si Christian Bale, hindi man yung parang wow. Pero nag-fit, kumbaga, it fit the mold.
True.
Si Jessie Buckley, extremes. Meron siyang isig na wow, ang galing. Pero may extremes na parang yun nga, yung sa accent and everything. Tapos pag nag-iiba siya ng wait lang, ano ng character mo ulit? Yun.
Yan.
Yun.
Ikaw?
Ako, Same din. Jessie Buckley stan ako through and through eh. So, dun sa apat, I think distinct naman. Kasi pagdating kay Mary Shelley, malinaw yung accent niya eh. Naiintindihan ko eh.
Si Mary Shelley yung pinakamalinaw, tapos siya yung pinaka-konti screen time. No?
Tsaka hindi ko rin alam anong point niya. Kaya lang siya lang yung naiintindihan ko eh. So, sino pa ba? Yung sobrang parang Thelma and Louise or parang Bonnie and Clyde. Bonnie and Clyde niya na parang runaway girl.
Yun na yung si Penelope na yun, di ba?
Parang it's giving Roxy Hart naman sa akin.
Ay, oo.
Chicago. Yun naman, yung sobrang heavy ng accent niya, hindi ko na talaga maintindihan. Sige, balik ako kay Christian Bale. Si Christian Bale, consistent yung acting niya. Yun yung pinaka-shining quality nung performance niya. Pero, mas challenging yung ginawa ni Jessie Buckley. And mas exciting si Jessie Buckley. Yun.
Oo alam mo yung...
Head-to-head sila.
Alam mo yung... Ang ganda na sinabi mo na mas consistent si Christian Bale.
Christian Bale, yes.
Pero mas exciting si Jessie. Kasi I second that motion wholeheartedly. Kasi I personally believe that unbelievably, Frankenstein's monster is actually the beating heart of this film. Si Jessie, si Bride, siya yung parang propulsive engine ng kwento. Siya yung talagang makes the whole world of the story go round. Pero yung true. Pero yung nakakatuwa kasi sanay tayo makita si Christian Bale, especially in roles na parang forces him to parang slightly act like a monster. Na parang talagang almost villainous, almost evil na yung pagkakaportray naman. Pero parang ito, as Frankenstein's monster, parang may mga times na naaawa sa kanya, nakakatawa siya. Alam mo yung parang siyang, ang cute naman nito. Yun na nga yung impetus kung bakit nagkagulo-gulo to lahat kasi he's lonely.
Yes.
He wants a partner, a life partner. And even that, parang, wait.
Kulang na lang mag-break into song na lang siya bigla eh. Parang, Mr. Cellophane.
Yun.
Ano ba yun sa Chicago? Oh my God.
Ay, sorry.
Excuse me, pwede ko...
Doon ka muna.
Pero for Jessie,
Sarap.
in terms of her performance, dare I say na hindi to masyadong, hindi ko ito tatawaging Oscar worthy. Kay
Jessie
Buckley. Pero this is exactly why she is one of the most exciting acting prospects nowadays. Parang parang anytime we see Jessie Buckley on the marquee, okay, I'm seated.
True.
Hindi man ito yung perfect, hindi man ito yung pulido katulad ng Hamnet. Or even yung mga katulad na dati yung mga women talking, yung ganon. Pero this just proves na parang, actually, it's funny kasi it kind of feels like early career Christian Bale.
Yes.
Na talagang she's just swinging for the fences and establishing her presence in Hollywood. Tapos biglang kukunin siya magiging superhero sa bigla. Joke lang.
Nakuha ko naman kay Jessie Buckley, yes, tama ka na, isa siya sa mga rising stars in Hollywood. Para siyang yung nag-Oscar run na si Emma Stone. Parang she's the next Emma Stone.
Yeah, na maging Oscar darling.
Oscar darling, yes. And also, isa din sa mga things that reminded me of Emma Stone sa performance niya. Kasi parang may Cruella eh.
Meron. May konti.
Energy. Have you watched Cruella?
Yung Cruella ni Emma Stone,
Emma
ha?
Stone.
Oo, may ganun eh.
At saka ito, may isa pa, may ito na banggit din to ng good friend of the podcast, Mr. Tim Villasor.
Okay. Friend of the pod.
Na yung si Jessie, si Bride, meron siyang AEW wrestler na kapeg si Timeless Tony Storm. I mean, down to the blonde hair and yung eccentric
Hair niya.
and the eccentric accent talaga. It's if you're a wrestling fan, you know who she is. And tama si Tim na, yeah, it's really like The Bride. Pero, yeah, I guess we can end our discussion sa The Bride here. Any final thoughts about The Bride? Anything?
Ayun, nevertheless, Jessie Buckley's performance was electrifying, ako na sabi ko. Kahit hindi man siya kasing consistent ni Christian Bale dito, it's a memorable performance overall. And
True.
kailangan nating ibanggitin ng Preso Orange. Kasi ang ganda ng orange sa kanya. Hi,
Preso
Awi.
Orange.
Preso Orange.
Oo,
Yun.
talaga.
Yun. Costume design. Kasi nabanggit na ni Ange kanina na ang ganda ng costume design.
As in,
Ikaw, anything to add?
feeling ko manonominate sa Oscars yan, costume design, hairstyling, and makeup.
Ay, sorry, masabi ko lang this year, ang tumatabo sa creative Oscars or at least awards is Frankenstein. So next year, ang tatabo naman,
Frankenstein.
The Bride.
Oo nga, no?
Ay, ikaw, anything else to add? Maliban sa
Anything to add? I need to watch it again para magets ko yung mga lines na hindi ko naintindihan. Siguro mas magiging buo sa akin yung story. Sorry, pero talagang, ewan ko kung tenga ko lang yun.
Alam mo ito tanong ko lang. Kasi alam ko na kung bakit wala siya sa Pilipinas eh. Pero parang, what is the hold up with putting subtitles for all films here in the Philippines?
Oo nga, alam mo nung nandun tayo
Why?
sa we watched movies sa Singapore tsaka sa Hong Kong.
Oh.
Kahit English movies, naka-subtitle naman yung English.
Exactly.
Mm-mm.
I mean, sorry masabi ko lang na parang is a certain government agency wanting to avoid extra work. Kasi alam ko kasi, ang nakwento na sa atin yan by industry insiders, na even the subtitle gets rated.
Yes.
Dumadaan din yan sa rating.
Oo.
So parang din ba yun? Kailangan, tinatamad na sila. Ba't di nyo lang pagsamahin? O di, panuloy nyo na isa, tapos sabay yung subtitle, tapos okay, rating 1, rating 2.
Actually, feeling ko dyan, pagdating sa subtitles, filmmakers really doesn't want to add subtitles kasi mawawala yung focus mo dun sa nangyayari. Nakafocus ka dun sa baba.
Pero
And
hindi mo maintindihan siya sabi.
hindi naman kasi lahat ganun yung accent. So parang,
True.
this is not the rule. This is an exception.
That's true.
Oo.
That's true. Okay.
So,
Sige.
yeah.
I guess.
Rating.
Rating na ikaw. Ano ang smash rating mo? Or ang rating smash
Smash hit naman siya sa akin. Pero 3.5 over 5 siya sa akin.
3.5 over
Oo.
5.
77 or 78 kung na nagkakamali doon sa Google Sheet ko.
Sige, ikaw.
Ako
Yung
sa
ating
akin-
sinigig later grade.
Liter grade.
Later grade.
Natuwa naman ako kasi sobrang it's fresh
Ah.
for me pagdating sa gothic genre. And yun nga, hindi naging predictable si Bride. Yun yung pinaka nagustuhan ko. So for me, B+ naman siya. B+.
Alam mo, ano siya pinag-aanohan ko ina-agonize ko yung rating ko dito Simula na pinanood natin siya. Kasi parang hati, equally, yung mga ayaw ko sa kanya. Tsaka yung mga gusto ko sa kanya. I was even thinking of giving this lang B. Kasi yun na nga yung kung ano yung mga nagawa niyang mali. Talagang mali. Talagang oo, pero yung sabi ko, yung mga negatives niya, talagang hindi ma-irredeemable, pero parang talagang hindi ko ma-excuse. Detrimental talaga siya. Pero then I realized na nag-uusap tayo actually papunta dito na parang mas bibigyan ko siya ng credit for being exciting and fresh. So yeah, I'm also gonna give it a B+. So it's a B+ for The Bride from Cinegeeks and 3.5 over 5 smash hit from Smash That Screen. Okay, so that's it for The Bride. And by the way, bago tayo magtuloy sa ating next film, huwag niyong kakalimutan na pag na-subscribe kayo, click niyo din yung bell dun sa tabi. So you get notified every time there's a new episode of the Cinegeeks Podcast kasi quite honestly, ito preview pa lang to. Ang daming sining darating. Dilubyo ng sine ang parating.
Super,
So you are
as
going
in.
to want to listen to our thoughts. Especially kung matagal na kayong nagpa-follow sa Cinegeeks Podcast. Okay, so with that being out of the way, The Bride, let's now go over to the next film in this episode. And actually, the one I'm very excited to talk about.
Yeah.
Kasi talaga, kinikilig pa rin ako. Iniisip ko yung sining to.
Kung nakita nyo yung kilig niya doon sa stand and talk namin paglabas ng sinehan, feeling ko hindi pa rin siya kumalma eh. Sabi niya, magsisit and talk tayo, pag-uusapan natin ito pag kumalma na siya. Pero kalma ka na ba?
I'm going to try. Ay, nako. We're talking about Sisa, of course. Written and directed by Juan Jun Robles Lana, starring the one and only Hilda Coronel. And supported ably by
Eugene Domingo.
Jenica Garcia, Barbara Miguel, Tanya Gomez.
Jolie Belagoto, Angeli Sanoy, Janina Mendoza,
Nico Antonio.
Nico Antonio, Romnick
Romnick
Sarmenta. I mean the usual suspects sa isang June Robles Lana film. Usually si Romnick at saka si ano. Alam mo yung may isip ko kasi ito diba nung kagabi. So we're recording this again March 5. Pinanood natin yung Sisa opening night March 4. Last night, yesterday. Nung paglabas natin ng sinihan, sabi ko sa iyo, 'di ba? Matagal na natin tinatanong, meron bang Christopher Nolan ang Pilipinas? And meron akong may offer na parang entry ko. And that's Mr. June Robles Lana. I mean, siguro for the fact na parang meron siyang consistent stable of actors na ginagamit niya.
Pagdating sa mga collaborators.
Oo, kumbaga kapag si Nolan, pag nakita mo Nolan, may Michael Caine, tapos may Tom Hardy,
Joseph Gordon-Levitt,
may Cillian Murphy, may Marion Cotillard,
Anne Hathaway.
Talagang iikot dun sa mga paborito niya. So si June, mga ano niya mga talagang sure hands na si Eugene, si Romnick,
Elijah?
Si Elijah, minsan.
Meron na bang more than once kay Elijah?
Hindi ako sure.
We'll park that later. I-search kapag kailangan Pero,
now, Vice ganda kasi dalawang beses na.
Oo. Pero, yeah. So, I mean, mabilisan lang. Sisa is, it's not about the character sa libro ni Dr. Jose Rizal. Inspired by. So, this is
loosely based.
Full spoilers tayo dito
with
again.
quotation marks.
Talagang may nasimulang trend itong Wuthering Heights.
Si Emerald Fennell. This is your fault.
Lahat na lang may mga tipong yung parang The Bride, Project Hail Mary.
Ano ba ito kay Emerald Fennell?
Hoy, Emerald. Ikaw, Emerald.
Emerald na. Mais ka.
Hindi, yung The Bride may exclamation point.
So basta merong ano yung tawag, may punctuation mark.
So yung Sisa,
question mark?
Hindi kasi 'di ba? Ang tanong sa kanya, so sinong baliw? Sinong totoong baliw ganyan? Parang ganun yung premise niya, 'di ba?
That's true. Okay, so ay nako, where do we begin with this? Kasi the trailers, I mean, I've only seen one trailer of this and napaka-cryptic pa niya.
Doesn't give anything away at all.
Actually, if anything pa nga, napaisip pa ako na parang, baka ano ba to? Magiging parang
kwento ni Sisa
kwento ni Sisa na parang may nalala niyo yung scene ni ayoko sabihin Stranger Than Fiction Pwede actually, parang Stranger Than Fiction na parang siyang mayroon talagang may Sisa talaga. Pero mayroong magiging parang analog ni Jose Rizal that follows Sisa, inspires him to include her in the story. Kumbaga, yun yung nakukuha kong vibe doon sa trailer.
Para siyang non-playable character? Yun ba? Avatar pala, parang ganon?
Parang magiging audience avatar
si Rizal. Si kay Sisa.
Oo, na parang pinapanood natin siya as he watches this woman's story and then it inspires him to include her
okay.
in the story.
Akala mo ganon?
Akala ko ganon. Pero, no. It's very different than that.
It's nothing I ever expected. Tama ba? Meron ng lumang Sisa?
Meron.
Na si Hilda Coronel din?
Hindi, mas pang 30s, 40s pa tayo.
Mike De Leon.
So...
Gerald something, wait lang,
search natin Pero sige yun, just to give, lay of the land lang. Itong Sisa is about a group of women, Filipino women, during the time of the
American War. Filipino-American
War. So parang ito yung panahon na patapos na yung gera, pasuko na yung actually implied na sumuko na si Aguinaldo, di ba? Sinabi sa dialogue dito. So patapos na dapat yung Filipino-American War.
Pero may mga insurrectos pa rin kasi.
Yun, meron. Ngayon, itong lugar kung saan biglang nag-pop up mysteriously si Sisa, talagang downtrodden sila. Talagang inaalipusta ng mga Amerikano.
Typical probinsya. Hindi siya yung yung alam natin na napapanood na natin sa mga historical films na city nasa Maynila or nasa Cavite na talagang may mga bahay, may proper na household ganyan. Ito talagang pinakapayak na probinsya na mamumuhay as in talagang kubo sila nakatira. Tapos yung sobrang simple talaga ng mga babaeng nakatira doon, ng mga tao. Sa garrison.
Yun, sa garrison sila malapit. And yun, of course, yun, Sisa appears mysteriously. and sets off a chain reaction of events that may or may not have severe implications for the future of the Philippines after the war.
Oh my God.
Okay, sige. Ange, what did you think of Sisa?
Well, again, nung sinabi ko naman dun sa Stand and Talk na talagang napaka-empowering nito as a Filipina woman, I love na ginamit niya yung femininity niya to fight. Kasi, kapag babae ka, ang tingin sa'yo mahina or, alam mo yun, lagi kang inferior and powerless. And they don't really see you as a threat. And she weaponized that in the best way possible. Yun yung pinaka parang sobrang badass talaga ni Sisa for me. Since this is spoiler talk naman na
Go.
yung pagiging niya, spy niya, it's giving me si Von Hammersmark
Sa Inglourious
sa
Basterds.
Inglourious Basterds.
Si paano nito?
Si Diane Kruger.
Diane Kruger. Sabi ko, si National Treasure.
Si National Treasure.
Treasure.
Well, mas kilala siya actually bilang Helen of Troy.
Oo, tama.
Pero siya talaga. Ano yung first name niya?
Si...
Von Hammersmark lang inaalala ko
Hanapin ko. Sige, pero tuloy ka.
Pero kasi ganun din niya. Background din niya, actress din siya. So si Sisa, di ba, Zarzuela actress din siya.
Zarzuelista.
Oo. So parang nakikita ko yung Inglourious Basterds talaga, and the way the movie ended, as in talagang yes, this can be a Tarantino movie.
Ikaw, Smash, what did you think of Sisa?
Okay. Buenas tardes,
Wow.
senyor, senyorita. Charot. Espanyol.
Donde está la biblioteca?
Yun. I mean, speechless is an understatement. Grabe. Alam mo yung, eto nirecommend ko talaga to, bihira akong mag-outright talaga na as in campaign for a film. Etong film na to, eto yung Filipino film na dapat talaga mapanood ng lahat. Umpisahan ko na, nabanggit mo naman sa Sit and Talk, deserve nitong maging Oscar entry next year. As early as now,
Amen.
wala akong masabi na dapat talaga ito. Ito ang Filipino story. Philippine entry. Diba? About Filipinos and, diba,
Made
ang
by a
gandang highlight,
Filipino.
made by a Filipino, and about women, Filipino women.
That's
Diba?
true.
Our history.
Oo.
Oo.
Tapos yun nga, di ba, nabanggit mo femininity. Eto, maganda kasi dito, for me, yung naging antagonist kasi dito, yes, may mga mabubusit kang male characters kasi ano naman ang big number one kalaban naman talaga ng feminism in terms of its progress, it's toxic masculinity, di ba?
That's true.
So meron
Yes.
talagang mga, obviously, mga characters na mga lalaki na mabubusit ka. Pero ang main antagonist kasi dito ay mga babae rin.
Yun nga, oo.
Diba?
Ang gandang dichotomy nun, na sometimes, ang pinaka-biggest critic din ng mga babae, yung kapwa babae din. Sila din yung unang-unang magmamarites sa'yo, sila yung unang-unang magsisita sa'yo, nakatingin sa'yo, magmamanlalait, mamimintas sa'yo, di ba? Pero, at the end of the day,
Diba? Yun, at the end of the day, pag ikaw yung naargabyado, babae din yung dadamay sa'yo. So yun nga, yung parang push and pull in terms of women's dynamics towards each other na ang maganda kasi may mga feminist film kasi na ang outright kalaban mo, lalaki.
Oo.
Diba,
It's
na
not as
parang-
simple as that. It's not black and white
Oo.
Oo.
Diba? Dito kasi, at least parang even the antagonist, binigyan niya ng agency.
Oo.
Kaya 'di ba, yung feminine at its finest na hindi niya glorify yung feminism kasi nga yung protagonist mo is feminist, 'di ba? Pero yung antagonist mo parang ganun din na parang it defeats the purpose of feminism.
Oo.
Like ito again, nabanggit ko na, si fraternal twin ko on another universe, Jenica Garcia,
Yes.
na 'di ba, siya yung nabulag na kasi siya doon sa idea of wala ako pag wala si Eddie, 'di ba? Tapos parang asawa niya akong ituring. So parang it's a period version or like a historical version of now na nakikita natin sa maraming kababaihan na mabait naman yung asawa ko or like naman siya, good provider naman siya
Ng abusive relationship.
Yes.
Ganun.
Yun, na parang this movie makes us realize how toxic masculinity can really get worse pag it's left unchecked.
That's true.
Yun yung character ni Leonor dito.
By the way, masabi ko lang yung Eddie na sinabi mo, na yung lover ni Leonor, played by Jenica Garcia, yung si Harrison, si Commander Harrison, yung commander nung Garrison.
Si Kuya Manzano.
Which by the way,
I love him.
kung ano siya, kung familiar siya sa inyo, siya yung mabait na praile sa Gumburza. Siya actually siya yung pahamak doon kay Enchong D.
Ay, oo.
Kasi diba,
naman.
kay Jacinto, kasi diba ang ginagawa nila doon, yung mga
Naglalaro sila.
nagsusugal lang sila, tapos nagpapasahan sila ng coded messages na parang yung ingest. Akala naman ng mga iba, parang call to revolution na. Kaya napahamak si Enchong. Kasi actually kasalanan din ni Kuya Manzante. Pero anyway, yung si Von Hammersmark, si Bridget Von Hammersmark.
Von Hammersmark. Thank you. I'm gonna think about that later kung di mo sinabi. Di ako makakatulog eh.
Oo. Pero I so love the points that you made about yun nga na parang there's never been a film or konti lang yung films that showcase for the lack of a better term, the badassery of the Filipino woman.
Yes.
Talaga. As in, talagang,
during that time.
And especially dun sa panahon na yun.
Oo.
Na talagang, and ito, hindi siya yung badassery na parang Kill Bill na parang, chok, hindi. Yung talagang, yung sobrang talino ng calculating and sobrang, alam niya kung ano yung magiging 10 steps ahead niya na galaw. Na talagang, ganun ang ako, for all the women that I know in my life. Alam kong ganun talagang katalino. Yung ganun. And yung sa sinabi mo naman na parang it speaks to parang calling out na yun nga sometimes the enemy of feminism isn't talagang literally the male gender, pero either toxic masculinity or toxic femininity.
There is such a thing as that. Kasi yun nga gusto ko na hindi pinortray yung mga babae dito as saintly. Na kahit sila, meron din silang mga misgivings, meron din silang prejudice sa kapwa nila babae. Hindi sila deified or parang masyadong mabait or mahina.
Hindi, talaga.
May mga pangil din sila and may mga sama din ng ugali.
Yes.
Kahit yung mga kapwa nilang Pilipina.
Ay nako. Sige, I mean, we've heard about what you thought of the film and what Ange thought of the film, what Smash thought of the film. Ako,
Ikaw, Roy.
Ay nako, God. Alam mo yung as a nurse.
Incredulous.
As a nurse
yun yung
din po.
term ko for you eh. Incredulous.
Incredulous ba?
Oo.
Ay nako.
Highly enthusiastic about it.
Kagabi, pagkatapos nating manood, I mean, and background lang I mean, if you know me personally, talagang kaya nga tayo may ganito I live and breathe movies. Especially, I mean, yung iba yung high that you get from watching talagang something that you know is an absolute work of art. Iba yung excitement, iba yung talagang, oh my God, I can't believe I'm literally seeing history. Kasi parang, it's not every day you get to see a movie that's talagang, I mean, near perfect.
Based on historical events ba to? O fictional?
Parang historical
Fictional,
fiction
pero kumbaga, may reference sa mga historical figures, pero it's not exactly a historical film. Period film
Kaya nga, ang ganda
yung
sabi mo
niya.
kanina na parang siyang parang may pagka-Tarantino siya. How Tarantino plays with history. Not necessarily straight na parang, ito yung nangyari nun, pero he uses sprinklings of facts in history to create parang yung kanyang, well, for Tarantino, yung mga revenge fantasies niya. And actually, one can say that this is also a revenge fantasy. Yun, exactly. Especially how this movie ends. Pero yun, going back lang, talagang yung feeling ko after watching this film last night, na talagang sobrang giddy, sobrang talagang nakaka-invigorate ng kaluluwa. Talagang grabing saya, grabing
re-energized. Parang si Frankenstein. Reinvigorated.
Oh my God, Sisa is one of the best films of the year. Hindi lang best Filipino film of the year, one of the best films of the year. Enough for us to say talaga na this is a worthy choice to become our entry for next year's Oscars. Talaga. Kasi yun na nga sinabi nyo yung si Jenica, sabi natin si Hilda. Hilda plays yung si Sisa with this very
controlled,
steely, cool determination, controlled.
Oo.
Tapos ito pa ito pa yung talagang sobrang talagang Kung hindi lang sobrang tahimik nung sinihan na pinapanood natin kagabi, sige, behave tayo. Talaga gusto kong tumuyo talaga, mag-yes, go Wilda. Nung biglang, may moment dito kasi biglang na-reveal na, act lang yung kanyang balyu-balyu self. Kasi biglang niya kiniusap na, ako'y, bayaw ako ni General Artemio.
Tanya Gomez.
Yung kay Tanya Gomez
Bayaw
sa
ko,
kinausap.
bayaw ko.
Bayaw ko si General Artemio. So parang, oh my God! Parang, shit!
Bigla siya nagsalita ng straight, no?
Biglang nag-turn on its head yung buong kwento.
Ah.
And it wouldn't work if hindi kayang dalahin nung ating main character, yung burden of talagang shifting the entire energy of the film. And she talagang ably carries that energy on her shoulders. Isa pa masabi ko,
Mind-blowing
yung
yun, yung
moment
moment
na
na
yun
yun.
talaga.
Tsaka yung bigla siyang nag-Spanish.
ayun.
Pero
so,
alam mo, sobrang tense nun. Parang,
Hmm.
parang yung kumakain si Hans Landa.
Parang yung, alam mo, yung, masabi ko kasi kayo, now that we're on the Tarantino tangent, yung moment na nag-Spanish siya, pagkita siyang kinakausap ni Eddie, na para siyang yung, alam niyo yung moment sa Bastards na yung gumana, hindi lang yun, andun si Michael Fassbender. Tapos yung nag-order siya ng ganun. Pero dapat ganun, di ba? Ay, di, ganito ba yung ginano niya or ganito? Basta yung mali yung tatlo yung ginito niya.
Pero dapat ganito yung pagtawag ng
Yung
mga
German ganito. Tapos yung buong, yung tense na standoff noon. Na para akong, oh my God. Talaga para akong, Jun, you're a genius. My God, you're amazing. Eugene Domingo. Ako hindi naman sa parang document, hindi. More na parang, for me, up and down siya. Depende sa role, depende sa material, yung quality ng output niya. For me, like let's say, sa Becky and Badette. It's perfect there. I still love Becky and Badette. It's a perfect film for me as well. Another June Robles Lana film that you should check out. Pero, doon naman sa
Anne-Mary. Sabi ko na Sabi ko na mababanggit natin.
Bakit ganon? Eugene, why? Pero I'm so happy na biglang, yes, Eugene, nabawi mo yung sarili mo in spades. Parang actually,
We love you again.
We love you again. Alam mo yun,
Grabe ka,
sabihin ko nga na, parang, alam mo yun,
We love Miss Eugene.
sa sobrang galing ni Miss Eugene dito sa Sisa, pwede siyang gumawa ng Anne-Mary ulit. Kasi hindi ako magagalit. Kasi sobrang laki ng good na naipon niya dito. Pero kidding aside, I called it in our stand and talk na it's her career best performance. And I absolutely stand by that.
Yes,
Kasi
yes.
ang daming moments dito na actually she's credited as like as supporting character. We actually on the way home,
Co-lead siya
co-lead
dapat.
siya.
Oo.
Talagang
Parang-
may mga moments dito na talagang bit-bit niya yung scene on her shoulders. May isang
Tsaka
moment,
may ibang moments in the story na parang siya na nga yung naging main eh.
yes.
Yung storyline nila nung daughter niya
Diyos
eh.
ko, lalo
Parang
na
yun na
yung
yung
part nung
pinaka heart na nung kwento eh.
Oo, lalo na nung yung namatay yung anak niya yung si
Oo.
Lena.
Mm-mm.
Tapos may hawak na niya yung palakol.
Palakol, oo.
Ang gusto ko yung yung hindi nyo maintindihan. Ano naiintindihan mo? Bakit nagkaanak ka na ba? Nag-asawa ka na ba? Yun. Yung speech niya na yun yung Oscar reel niya.
Oscar Reel, yes. Famous Reel.
Yeah, Orian.
Orian Reel. Sorry,
Orian Reel.
Orian Reel. Ganun.
And Luna. Luna Awards kasi
Luna
talaga yung
Reel.
counterpart ng Oscar sa atin eh.
Kaya talaga sa akin, kaya masasabi ko din na June Robles Lana is becoming our Christopher Nolan. Not because of yung the tenor or yung parang kung ano yung subject matter nung genre ng work niya, pero yung grabe yung consistency niya sa paggawa na pag-churn out ng talagang banger after banger after banger. People can, and I mean, sige, there is no invalid opinion, pero people will discount yung Becky and Badette, yung dalawang Vice Ganda MMFF films nila as parang hindi naman yan parang yung prestige work niya kasi meron siya ng About Us, Not About Us, yung mga ibang gano'n niya, pero I would posit na it's actually what makes his filmography so freaking well-rounded,
Diverse.
so diverse.
Uy, nakakalimutan mo yung mga Marilu Diaz Abaya movies niya.
Yun pa pala, may as writer pa siya.
As writer.
Si Rizal, diba?
Muroami. Co-writer siya dun eh.
Hello.
Oh my God, ang galing. Oh God.
So we can say naman na June Robles Lana is a prolific filmmaker.
Yes. He's talagang...
Whether he's a writer or a director, maganda naman yung filmography niya. And hindi naman ako surprised dito sa Sisa na maganda.
Pero alam mo in this day and age, I mean, if you'd allow me to go on a small tangent, it's very, very rare to see in this day and age the kind of consistency that he puts out. Kasi even the directors that we see, hindi na natin papangalanan po, okay? Pero may mga directors tayo na napapanood recently, they will make a very smart, very intelligent, very well-rounded work one day, and then the next, they'll make something na parang, is this from the same person? And yes, we understand the reality of the nature of the beast of this business. Na parang sometimes yun na nga. I mean, we're musicians. Kami ni Angela before. Meron kaming term na tawag doon, tugtog pera. Parang yun talagang it's a job. And we know that. It's just the truth.
Yung commercial viability
Yes,
lang na.
that's true.
And sometimes you do it one for the money and one for you.
Oo.
Parang ganon yung parang concept niya.
The true. Pero June Robles Lana, kahit yung mga for commercial niya is also for him. Na parang talagang kita mo yung art just
art
oozing
niya.
out of him. The art and the heart talaga. My God. Ay nako, sige. Ano ba
Ako,
ba?
I
Sige.
would
Go.
kind of agree na may strong case yung sinasabi yun na co-lead silang dalawa. Si Hilda siya si Eugene. Ang ano ko lang dyan, kumbaga to enlighten our listeners, si Sisa yung dramatic focal point. Si Eugene yung comedic or satirical focal point. Kasi siya yung naging siya kasi yung parang naging point of irony kasi, na parang 'di ba, siya yung chismosa, siya yung naninira kay Leonor nung una. Pero siya din ang unang, 'di ba, siya ang nag-alaga kay Leonor.
Yeah.
Ganyan, siya din yung nagtanggol dun sa mga kababaihan sa huli, 'di ba?
Yes, I can say na para silang two sides of the same coin. Pero I wouldn't call it comedic kasi parang hindi comedy yung capacity niya. Mas more levity siguro.
Yeah.
Para siya yung nagbibigay ng lightness dun sa kwento.
Yan, yung lightness, oo.
Oo, pero yung patawa na nakasanayan natin kay Eugene and we know that she is a comedian naman talaga. Hindi yun yung hindi yun yung mask na pinakita niya dito.
Oo, pero yun yung lumabas kasi kaya nga binanggit ko pa rin sa satirical nga.
Saya.
Oo,
So,
satirical focal point.
Masabi ko lang. I mean, having seen a number of works where they have collaborated, may tendency, siguro in the parang more mid entries sa filmography ni Sir June, na kapag yung mga collaborators niya, frequent collaborators niya kasama niya, there is a tendency for them to parang go off the rails a bit. Yun.
Yeah, I agree.
Pero
Tama,
dito,
tama.
talagang controlled. Lahat
Laser
is-
focused,
Sobra talagang eye on the prize lahat silang lahat. Ibang
And
klase.
alam mo, sobrang rare nun kasi
Oo.
hindi lahat ng kasi usong-uso naman dito sa Pilipinas yung writer and director 'di ba? Palagi marami pero not everybody can pull it off. Kasi kulang sa self-restraint So I love it that June Robles Lana is a writer first.
Yes.
And then naging director siya.
Oo.
Kasi maraming director na kapag weakness nila yung writing and they refuse to get writers to work with them or to collaborate with, ang ganda ng direction, ang ganda ng makikita mo sa screen, pero walang substance yung kwento. So,
Yes,
I love that
that's
this
true.
is substance first before style. Pero, yun nga dahil prolific na director din si June Robles Lana, kahit yung directing, strong siya. So, sobrang well-rounded kahit na siya yung singular helm ng directing and writing.
Writing,
And
oo.
that is rare.
Yeah. Yun nga, kaya nabanggit ko dun sa 'di ba, na this is his most balanced
That's true.
na film in terms of direction and writing.
Yes, that's true.
Since About Us, but not About Us.
Oo.
Kasi yun nga yung sinasabi ko lagi na it's really hard to pull off both the director's hat and a writer's hat.
Yes.
'Di ba? Kasi the director is the how of the presentation. The writing is the what of the presentation. Ngayon, dito nag-blend well together yung story ni Sisa and how it was presented. And hindi lang story ni Sisa. Parang Sisa represented all the women yung mga supporting characters. Siya yung representation nun Tapos, hindi nga bonus pero grabe yung cinematography nito again and musical score. Dagdag yun yung
I
immersive
love the music.
experience na nakakilabot yung ano nito, yung di ba yung musical score nito, man, yung kinikilabutan ko nga pag naalala ko kasi grabe. So kumbaga, talagang holistic tong
Ay, nako.
film na to na acting department, Yung direction, yung writing, technical elements, music, as in wala eh. Ang pinaka-caveat ko lang sa film na to, very nitpicky lang, may continuity error lang to. Konting-konti lang, particularly sa character ni Nico Antonio. Dun sa bigote niya. Hindi ako makamove on talaga. Yun. Tsaka yun, oo. Yun nga, yung parang makaka-disorient lang for me. Yung bigote.
Baka mo naman nag-ano siya.
Oo, one scene meron biglang, meron, tapos biglang wala, tapos meron ulit.
Malay mo naman
Yun.
nag-ahit siya in between. Tapos ganun may genetic siya na sobrang ang bilis tumubo ng bigot.
Yeah, pero ako admittedly, medyo tinagalan ko yung pagpa-finalize nung talagang actual rating ko dito. Kasi I feel like I'm biased sa material. Kasi nga, favorite ko si Jose Rizal. As a writer, as a novelist, ganyan. And tong season na to, sobrang kilig na kilig ako kasi ang daming Jose Rizal reference. Yung Lampara, si Elias, El Fili, again, si Sisa, obviously. Tapos si Crispin Basilio, yan, si Leonor. Oo, di ba? Maria Clara. So, kung ano yung mga yon, you have to watch this film for you to find out. Pero meron kang caveat regarding dun sa ending. Kaya siya hindi ano sa'yo?
Alin?
Yung sinabi mo na parang una yung sa character ni Smith na sana mas nagkaroon ng ano,
Oo, yun. Hinanap ko lang yung kamapans ni
Di,
Smith.
ang hinahanap niya yung kagabi kasi nung nanonood tayo, sinasabi ko sa kanya, papunta, magbabastards ending ito, magbabastards ending to.
Yun ang siguro
Yun.
nandun ako sa, I mean, it's my fault for setting those expectations. Kasi nga, gusto ko para siyang revenge story siya eh. So, I wanted to see in all its glory yung come-upans ng lahat ng mga villains. And gusto ko talaga na, alam mo yung, gusto ko naka-focus kay Harrison.
Kay Harrison tsaka kay Smith.
Siya yung unang mag-choke dun sa soup. Ganon. Tapos, alam mo yung parang yung the menu. Na parang
na pinakita sila isa-isa na
nare-realize na nila na, oh, fuck, this is the end. Ganon yung hinahanap kong parang feeling na parang,
pero on that note,
that is what you fucking deserve.
Pero on that note, ito, sinabi ko din sa iyo ito na para siyang I so loved na it was able to pull off the Bastards ending without sacrificing its tone, its established tone. Hindi siya naging biglang parang kasi gusto ko din 'yun eh. Kasi parang ganoon na, parang nagigigil na ako. Oh, shucks.
Tsaka nanggigigil na ako eh. I really wanted,
talagang kamapans talaga.
Oo.
Pero talagang ang pinakita niyang calling card dito ng kwento is parang hindi. We are showing the steely resolve of the Filipina against all odds dito sa kwentong to. And yung ending na nakuha natin, which is yun na nga
Yung Lampara.
tapos biglang yung art
Ay,
house.
gusto ko yun. Gusto ko yung bigla, hindi na pinakita. It's implied that they burned the house down. Literally and figuratively.
May burning eksena naman na kasi.
Meron
Kaya feeling ko
na.
magiging redundant pag inulit nila sa dulo.
That's true.
True.
Oo.
Pero yun nga, yung come-upans, pagdating dun sa part na yun hinahanap ko yung scalping, kumbaga. Yun.
I think this
So
is my
to
best
speak.
work yet. Oo, yung
Yun.
ganun.
Gusto ko yung moment na yun for my own personal satisfaction. Because I'm crazy that way.
Sir Jun, baka may ano naman dyan.
May director's cut ba?
May director's cut ba to?
Na ipapakita yung torture nila.
Bastards ending.
Oo. Baka may scalping din.
Sorry, masabi ko
Pwede.
lang quickly. Yung you touched upon it. Pero my God, cinematography by Carla Mendoza.
Oh gosh. Of course.
Sublime.
Chris.
Or sabi nga doon sa sine, ano yung sublime?
Crispy.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Alam mo yung hindi lang yung composition of shots like yung mga wide na talagang kumbaga yung every frame of painting style of composing shots, pero yung mga Dutch angle,
Aspect ratio change.
I love that. Oo. Yung mga Dutch angle yun. Gusto ko yun.
God.
Very disorienting yun.
Yung nagsimula nung nagsimula yung scene na naka 4x3 siya. Yeah. God.
Ang bilis naman makuha bumigay.
Tapos ito pa,
Tapos pala yung Anne-Marie naka 4x3.
gusto ko lang idagdag na why, like, additional sa greatness ng film na to, it's not trying to be perfect actually.
It's not.
Kasi may mga plot point siya na parang it's really messed up eh.
True.
Like nung sa plot point nung kay Nico Antonio, 'di ba? Na ay ano nangyari? Mabubuking ba sila na sila yung kumuyog kay Nico Antonio?
Oo,
ganon?
hindi siya tsaka yung resolution ng parang sabi 'di ba, itago niyo yung katawan ha.
Oo.
Kasi iniwan yung katawan.
'Di ba? Ang mess up, 'di ba?
Hindi makalat siya, pero it was supposed to be kasi hindi naman lahat ng nangyayari sa totoong buhay planado and maligpit,
True.
di ba? So,
Oo.
I love that detail na rin. It kind of worked for what they're trying to
Trying to
tell.
do.
Bumawi dun sa paano sila makakalusot. Ayun. So, 'di ba? May nasabay na bumarel, ganyan na soldier,
Ay,
'di ba?
ganun.
Ang galing mo.
Although yung sa ending, I would posit na pwede naman sanang hindi sila nasunog sa loob. Pero they wanted a sinners parang
Yung
ending,
papasin.
I guess. Di ba parang may pagka-sinners siya?
Pagka-sinners siya.
Parang burn the house down. Pero actually,
Ano yung
parang, di ba, nagsusuka-suka na sila, parang
Oo.
triangle of sadness. Ayun nga yung hinahanap ko, parang yung gano'n, yung suka, just disgusting things. I'm disgusting.
Wow, magiging giallo bigla yung genre ng sibig.
Pero alam mo yun, dahil sobrang hinang-hina na sila, dahil nga nalason sila, pwede namang nagasan na nila yung di ba, yung loob. Pwedeng sinunog na lang yan, tapos labas na sila eh. Hindi nila kailangan masunog sa loob. Pero,
Sinners ending nga, tama.
sinners.
Tayo na ako.
Go.
Ay, I love this movie. I love this movie. I love this movie. Hindi
Parang hindi halata,
Parang hindi masyado.
Ay, nagustuhan mo pala.
Ay, nako. Sorry, masabi ko din pala, yung editing din ni Lawrence Ang.
Yes.
The editing is talagang on point kasi especially, I mean, ito hindi naman sa pinuput down natin again, okay, no. Pero our experience with Filipino productions as ambitious as this, meron siyang mga elements na will do so well in one part, pero biglang may mga nakakalimutan na mga aspect. And most of the time, the department that suffers sa ganun is editing. Maybe for a multitude of reasons. Pero yun na nga dahil sinabi natin kanina parang everyone is on their A-game, laser focus lahat. Yung editing na parang yung talagang, you know exactly what's happening. Even yung even yung sa ending, for all the chaos of that ending is on point. Ito, masabi ko na lang in closing for me, and then I'm gonna go sa inyong dalawa to ask you what to add pa kung meron. I believe that this film was able to successfully pull off this growing trend in Philippine cinema na directors or creatives want to transplant the theater experience into film. I mean, case in point, yung ginawa noon sa Isang Himala.
Yeah.
Yung ganon. Na talagang
You mean stage play?
Stage play experience into a movie. Yung ganon. Pero where Isang Himala failed spectacularly. Kasi talagang it stubbornly held on to its stage play DNA without parang, integrating the film DNA into its body. Na parang meron sana siyang potential to be something like Jesus Christ Superstar. Na talagang Hamilton. Na play siya. Well, not necessarily Hamilton kasi it's a play na was shot lang on stage. More Jesus Christ Superstar, yung luma. Na meron siyang stage play aesthetics. Pero sa labas siya, sa disyerto siya ginagawa. Cinematic pa rin siya. Dito, na-pull off nila ni Jun yung ganung stage play sensibilities with cinematic aesthetics. Kasi, ito, case in point, sa dulo, medyo, nag-double na siya ng todo dun sa, akala ko magiging one-er nga siya na parang magiging one take na yung dulo. Kasi yung camera, gumaganong-ganon ako saan-saan And watching them, observing
yung
all
reels.
of them, hindi, naka-steady cam yun. Huwag ka. Observing all of them and their movements, sila Uge, sila Hilda dito sa gilid, yung sila Jenica dito sa may side, na parang it's very stage yung blocking nila. And they were all moving as like how actors would move on stage. Pero may choreography.
May blocking.
Oo, pero hindi nakalimutan na sine pa rin to. Doon pumapasok yung sobrang expert na steadicam. Kaya talagang yung DP, Carlo Mendoza talaga deserves as big a lion's share of the props dito as June, as the actings, yung whatever talaga. Ay, smash. Sige.
Kasi gusto ko final. Kasi Anshe.
Anything to add?
Again, Sisa is not just a film that we deserve. It's a film that we need. But it's also a film that we should be consistently doing. Yung ganong quality, regardless kung for commercial viability siya or for awards or a balance of both, ito yung eksakto. Especially for a theme na surrounding yun nga may historical elements. Ito yung eksakto na formula or like blueprint of what a historical or period film should be. Na kaya naman natin Kaya naman pala. So, yun, again, the ensemble cast, French Kiss, tapos yung lahat, yun kaya ang ganda ng film kasi
Chef's Kiss.
Chef's Kiss pala, French. Kakat mo ba yun?
Hindi ko lang yun.
Yun, so,
Iba na yung Freudian slip mo na yan.
Ganun niya kamahal yung sine. Kasi
Oo,
French kiss.
French Kiss Ayun, Chef's Kiss pala. Sorry na po. Ganyan. Ayun. So, again, yun nga.
French kasi yung chef.
Again, hopefully, ma'am, ang hope ko lang talaga sa film na to is mas maraming makapanood nito, especially now na we are in this political situation and what's happening in the world. I mean, we're not spared from, of course, we're a developing country. We're not spared from any threat outside of our country. Pero if anything, the victory and failure of us as a country and us Filipinos nasa kanya-kanya rin. Kasi pinakita nito yung extreme na pag nagkaisa, tsaka pag you go up against each other. Diba?
Yeah.
Kasi at least, dapat ang prinsipyo natin is, again, sa iisang layunin na dapat pumapanig tayo sa bansa natin.
Oo.
Hindi
Sa isa't isa,
Sa
oo.
isa't isa. At hindi natin dapat tinotolerate yung pagkakamali ng bawat isa. And we help each other out to be better Filipinos.
Yes.
Yun.
Iboto po si Smash sa
Ay,
susunod
grabe.
na election. Okay, Ange, ikaw, anything to add last?
Ayan.
Ako, talagang, I wanna say thank you for creating this film. I don't have much Filipino movies that really push women empowerment in this manner, in this way. Na talagang, alam mo yon, it really made me realize never underestimate women. Talaga. Kahit ano pang henerasyon yan, kahit ano pang panahon. Women are formidable, they are strong, they are smart, they're intelligent, they're cunning.
They're forced to be.
Yes, they are a force to be reckoned with, and they are flawed. They're not perfect, 'di ba? They pick on each other, and pero sila din yung unang-unang dadamay sa kapwa babae. It makes me feel proud and thankful to be a woman, and it gives me hope talaga. Especially ngayon, kasi grabe yung mga issues ngayon about women, about objectification, about grooming, about abuse, sexual abuse, 'di ba? And yun, kahit yung mga Me Too in the workplace, equal pay, ang daming yung my body, my rules, 'di ba?
Agency.
Oo. And this movie just parang encapsulates everything and reminds women of their strengths. So,
and value.
yeah. So, thank you for this film. I love it and I will recommend this to any woman or man para rin alam ng mga lalaki kung
Kung ano dapat at hindi dapat.
yes, and they know never to underestimate women or to see them as weak or inferior.
Yes. Underestimate women at your own risk. Talaga.
Fafo.
Fafo, eh. Ay, nako. So, yeah, I guess that's it for our talk about Sisa. Ikaw, Smash, ano naman rating
Rating.
mo?
Rating 95 over 100, smash. And then siya, 4.5 over 5.
Yeah. Bigyan mo niya rating natin. I'm pretty sure parehas tayo. Let's go. Let's give it.
1, 2, 3, go. A+.
A+.
Ano ba yan? Di ba sabay?
It's a solid A+.
Yes,
From the
A+.
Cine Geeks for Sisa. Talagang don't miss it. Don't miss it. Ito talaga ang ating dapat entry natin next year.
Yes.
Sa Oscars.
Yes.
I-add natin na discounted siya. 275
Okay.
and 250 or 230 sa provincial
If I'm not
yeah.
mistaken, I think it's on a discounted rate, so parang
Oo.
go out and watch movies.
Yes.
If you want more movies like this, watch movies like this talaga. Okay, so I guess that's it for our episode talking about The Bride and Sisa. Kung napanood nyo na yung mga movies na to, or kahit isa lang sa kanila, just tell us what you thought about them in the comment section below. Sa
And
YouTube or
of
sa Spotify.
course,
Yes, go.
bago ko matapos, I
Okay.
would just like to thank my sponsor. Ayan, SMD Wellness Center. Kasi in relation din to Women's Month, they have a promo, 20% off on all procedures and treatments para sa lahat ng ating mga beautiful women, Filipina women out there. So go check out SMD Wellness Center. Nakaka-link sa caption.
In the description
Yung page.
or in the caption. Yes. Okay. So, Smash, where can they find you online?
Please follow me on Smash the Screen on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Letterboxd, and TikTok.
Yes.
Wow.
And of course, you can find Cinegeeks on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Blue Sky,
TikTok,
Letterboxd, TikTok. Sinabi ko yung TikTok, no?
Threads,
Threads,
ah,
Friendster,
website.
MySpace,
Multiply.
Multiply,
Oh my God. Age reveal. Tito, what's that?
Reddit. Yan. And of course, if you like this episode, don't forget to subscribe. Give us thumbs up kung gustuhan nyo. And if you subscribe, click nyo yung bell sa tabi ng subscribe para ma-notify kayo sa mga next episode namin. Okay. So, for this episode of the Cine Geek Sit and Talk, I'm Roy.
I'm Angela.
I'm Smash.
And we will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.